Welcome back, everybody, to DHS Sports Center. I'm Ben Smith.
And I'm Mo Bouvier.
On today's show, we will be interviewing the girls' field hockey team. We will be discussing their experiences being part of the girls' field hockey team.
Later in the episode, you'll see another episode of my segment, Rules Weekly Sports News, and we'll be debuting a new segment called Ben's Best Plays of the Week.
So stay tuned for that and more on DHS
Sports Center.
Cafe Tuesday, every Tuesday. Join us next week for your hot cup of coffee.
All right, and welcome back to Season 2, Episode 4 of DHS Sports Center. One thing to note, right next to me, I have my co-host, Ben Smith, first episode of this year.
Yeah.
He's finally back. And today we're interviewing the girls' field hockey team. I have Morgan Mello and Abby Zuber from the field hockey team with us here today. So my first question for you guys is, how has the team been performing this year so far? What do you guys think?
We've been doing really good. I feel like we lost a ton of people last year, so we've definitely improved, and we've done a lot of team bonding, which is good for us, and we've really grown a lot, I would say. I've started to we get more comfortable as the year goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely been a building year, but I think we really stepped into it and we filled the roles we had to fill. So I think we've been doing pretty good.
Yeah. Do you have a question?
Yeah, indeed. I would like to say, what made you get into field hockey in the first place?
So I went to Dartmouth Middle School, and I was trying to find a fall sport because I'd already decided I was going to play basketball and run track in the spring. So I really wanted to be a three-sport athlete, and I was in art class one day just trying to decide. I was trying to decide between volleyball or golf, and then Argwin, the head coach, she's actually the art teacher for Dartmouth Middle School. So she kind of started yelling at me and just telling me to play field hockey, and that kind of just sealed the deal. And it was a really good happy accident type of thing.
I've been playing since first grade because my mom used to play, so she kind of just made me play, and I kind of grew to love it. So.
Yeah.
So I know you guys had a lot of seniors on your team last year. How do you think the change has been from losing those seniors last year to this year, and now you guys are the seniors? Is there any different role you guys are taking now that you're the oldest on the team? You feel like you're almost like the leaders, maybe? Is there any specific power you think you hold over the other kids and try to lead them in the future?
I try my best to lead by example, especially because we have a really large freshman class this year. I think it's 13 of them, which is extremely large, especially because we have 4 seniors this year.
Yeah.
So I just try to lead by example and do the little things so that they can pick up on it.
Yeah, I feel like the girls last year, they were so good, and they've been playing together for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And so we really we lost a lot of people. We lost 11 girls, and they were just all so good, and we all looked up to them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to fill those shoes of being the kid that everyone else looks up to. But personally, I'm a goalie, and there's 2 younger goalies, so I really like to take the time to work with them and make an impact with them, because then in the future when other goalies come up, especially because it's such a localized spot on the fields, this is where a lot of the stuff happens. I want to make sure that they're good role models for the kids coming up as well.
Yeah. do you have anything to go off?
I'm gonna piggyback what you said on my first question about Mrs. Ardwin and stuff like that. I just want to tell you guys, how do you describe your relationship with Miss Ardwin, Coach Ardwin?
There we go.
Yeah. So Coach Argwin, she played as a goalie in college, and she played. I'm sure she played other positions, but she really works with us as goalies. She's a good person to look up to. Like, she's just kind of like. We have another coach who's a little bit younger. She's on the younger side. She's just graduated a few years ago, and then we have another one who, she's also on the younger side. So it's like Argwin is kind of like a mother to. I feel like she's a mother figure to me, especially because she played the position before. So I kind of look up to her and ask her a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy having Arden as a coach. She's a really good coach, and I feel like she knows where to like draw the line between like this is fun and like this is serious. Like I think sometimes that gets blurred, but she's really good at like getting us back into line.
And a question I had coming into this interview that I was really curious about is, do you guys have any new position changes this year after losing all of your players from last year?
Yeah, pretty much the whole lineup is like completely different besides I think 5 of us.
Yeah, so obviously
Four of us?
goalie position really never changes, and then Sam, Souza, Grace Haskell, and Kelly Rose, they all, and Abby, they also, Grace, Sam, and Callie all started a lot last year, and they're very solid forward line, and honestly when they're on the field, like, they're super connected, so they played, and then Abby's been playing on varsity or on the roster since sophomore year, and she came up a lot freshman year, so it's besides those positions, we've had a lot of changes. I also have Merwin Silva. She is one of these sweeps. She normally stays in that area. She's been like insane this year. So we have some solid people that are switching around, but they're all put where Argwin thinks they'll be the most helpful, and you can tell that it works really well.
That's awesome. Another question, kind of going off that one, is there a team that you guys have been really looking forward to playing this season? Whether it's a rivalry game or just a team that you've been excited to face that maybe you lost to last year and you're looking to get revenge this year? Is there a certain team you're excited to play against?
Well, we're at the end of the season, so
Yeah.
last year we only lost 1 game all season. So there wasn't really a team like that because the team we lost to, we dropped them from our schedule. But Durfee this year, the
Durfee,
second game coming
yeah.
in,
Oh my God.
I think we had a lot of energy for that one, and we really wanted to like come back because they beat us the first time we played them, and they haven't beat us in like years.
That was the first time I think they've ever beat us.
It's been like a decade
Yeah.
since they beat us, or something like that.
And Argwin has
So
I think she's friends with the coach, but it's that like we're like rivals, and Durfee's always been a rival, and they have a nasty team. They're so good, but we're better, and we won the second game. So we kind of came back and really beat them.
Awesome. Do you have anything to add?
Like I was gonna say before, you know how I talked to you guys about Miss Ardwin, Coach Ardwin. Just describe your French relationship with your teammates and stuff like that.
yeah, I think it was kind of interesting at the beginning of the season because not everyone really knew each other very well, coming from like different teams really, because it was like the JV team mixed in with like partial of last year's varsity team. So I think it was just like getting used to each other. But now I think we're like all pretty friendly. Like I'll say hi to like everyone in the halls and things like that.
Yeah, we've done a lot of bonding, especially during like rainy practices. We don't really like to waste time, and so if we get rained out for a practice, we go in Argwin's room and we run over plays and stuff like that in corners. So that's a lot of good team bonding, and I feel like, last year when we had a separated team where it's JV and varsity, I feel like the lines aren't as separated, especially because JV is a lot of freshmen. So the freshmen kind of like keep to themselves because they're new. And then varsity is up here, like we're really getting to know each other because there's not that much of a divide. It's more of like a freshman team and a varsity team, just because of the pure number of freshmen.
And would you guys say the team chemistry between, all of the players is pretty strong? You guys think you mesh well together, whether it's, practicing plays in practice or even in the game? Do you guys feel like you communicate well with each other and you're always on the same page?
For the most part, yeah. I think like it takes a while, like that takes a lot of practice, but I think recently we've been doing really well. Like we've had really good chemistry in games and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I kind of keep to myself a little bit in the goal when we're running, like, plays more in the field, but I still have those 2 other girls, and the 3 of us kind of work together in the goal, so it's really great in that way. And then I always have the backs, and we've started, when people have a position they play more, we start to play better because they're used to that position. But if it gets switched around, we're all adaptive, so we still know how to talk to each other and communicate, which is a big part of field hockey is communication. So we do a lot of bonding, like we play like tag and stuff sometimes, and that's fun. So.
That's awesome.
All right, I just got one more question for you guys. Would you like to continue this in the future, maybe in college, maybe when you grow up, maybe when you have children, you want to teach them? How would you like to do that in the future?
You want to go?
So yeah, I've been looking to play in college. Goalie is a rough position because there's only a few spots open on each team. It's not really like a field position. I have a few options that I'm not like super, I have a few options that I'm excited for, but nothing I've committed to yet. It's, and even if I didn't actually play on a team, because there's a certain level of stress that comes along with being like an official student athlete, I would definitely play club in college or some sort of intramural field hockey. And then I definitely think for a side job or something when I've found like kind of like an area to settle down in, that I'd pick up coaching eventually.
Yeah, mine's about the same. Like I've looked into a few schools for playing, but even if I didn't play like on the actual team, I think I'd definitely join a club team or something like that.
Well, Ben and I want to thank you guys for coming on the show today and doing this interview. And good luck on the rest of your season this year. And thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys.
Welcome back to DHS News. I'm your host, Ella Gates, this just in. Do you know the rules of the road when walking or biking to school? Well, we have a reporter, Bella Rabello, live on the scene outside of our school, here to shed some light on today's topic. Take it away, Bella.
That's right, Ella. Road safety goes way beyond just wearing helmets and looking both ways at crosswalks.
Can you tell us more about road signs and what they are?
Signs like school speed limit signs and crosswalk assembly signs are important to keeping students and pedestrians safe.
Are there any street markings that people should be aware of when out on the street?
Arrow markings, which are represented by a green stripe with white arrows, indicate that the street is being shared by drivers and bikers. Drivers should also be aware of bike boxes. These ensure the safety of our bikers as they commute.
How can other drivers and pedestrians avoid tragedies like this?
Drivers, bikers, and pedestrians can all avoid tragic accidents by being aware of each other and road signs. Back to you, Ella.
This has been DHS News.
Hello, and welcome back to the third installment of Will's Weekly Sports News, my segment where I give you the scoop on all the latest news in our favorite professional sports. Let's start off with Week 6 of the NFL. A rematch of last year's AFC Divisional, and the Buffalo Bills faced off against the Kansas City Chiefs. Bills quarterback Josh Allen threw for 329 yards and 3 touchdowns. Receivers Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis had big games as Diggs racked up 148 yards and a touchdown, and Davis had 74 yards and a touchdown. On the Chiefs side of things, quarterback Patrick Mahomes threw for 338 yards with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. The Bills would end up taking this game with a final score of 24-20, improving to 5-1, while the Chiefs moved to 4-2. Huge upset alert as the New York Jets soared over the Green Bay Packers on Sunday. Jets rookie running back Breece Hall really showed out with 116 rushing yards and a touchdown, being a big contribution to this big Jets win, which was a final score of 27-10. And who's going to stop the Philadelphia Eagles? Undefeated 6-0 on the season, this team is looking better and better each game. The head coach, Nick Sirianni, said that the team is going to challenge themselves in every game, and they're not going to worry about an unbeaten record. Looks like the all-gas, no-break attitude is really working out for Philly. Coming in with some coaching change news, the Carolina Panthers fired head coach Matt Rule last week. Rule ended his time with the Panthers with a record of 11 wins and 27 losses in just 2.5 years with the team. The Panthers announced that secondary coach Steve Wilkes will serve as the interim head coach going forward. Transitioning from the NFL, this week in NCAA college football, we saw a major upset as the Tennessee Volunteers shocked the world, beating the undefeated Alabama Crimson Tide. Bama QB Bryce Young tossed 455 passing yards with 2 touchdowns, and running back Jahmyr Gibbs rushed for 103 yards and 3 touchdowns. But the star of this game was Tennessee wide receiver Jalen Hyatt, who had 207 yards with 5 touchdowns on only 6 receptions. Huge win for the Vols as they sit at 6-0 and Alabama becomes 6-1. Wow. My co-hosts Ben Smith and my Uncle Tom are not going to be happy about this one. Moving on from football, on Saturday, boxing fans were blessed to see fighters like Claressa Shields, Devin Haney, and even Deontay Wilder fight. Starting us off was Claressa Shields versus Savannah Marshall at the O2 Arena in London. After 10 rounds, Shields won a hard-fought unanimous decision over Marshall. This win unified Claressa Shields as the undisputed women's middleweight champion. Shields now holds the WBA, WBC, WBO, and IBF world titles and still holds an undefeated record of 13-0. Moving forward from that women's bout, we got a highly expected and anticipated rematch between undisputed lightweight champion Devin Haney and the lightweight challenger George Kambosos Jr. at the Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne, Australia. It was a tough battle where both men had times where you thought the other one would dominate the other. Ultimately, Devin Haney won by unanimous decision as the judges scored the fight 118 to 110 Haney, 118 to 110 Haney, and 119 to 109 Haney. The Dream himself would retain his WBA, WBO, IBF, and Ring Magazine lightweight belts. Moving on from the lightweights, we had a heavyweight showdown between 2 fan favorites in Deontay Wilder and Robert Helenius. Fans excited to see Wilder back in the ring since his loss to Tyson Fury. Wilder showed why his nickname is the Bronze Bomber after a first-round knockout over Robert Helenius. Moving past boxing, but continuing with mixed martial arts, UFC Vegas 62 took place on Saturday, with the main event Alexa Grasso versus Viviane Araújo, a women's flyweight fight. Grasso won this fight by unanimous decision. Still, this was one of the worst fights to ever main event a fight night card, and the fans could care less about these rankings. The co-main event, however, was a bantamweight fight between Jonathan Martinez and Cub Swanson. Swanson, who was a fan favorite, made his debut at 135 pounds, but sadly got lit up by Martinez and lost the bout by a leg kick TKO in the last minute of the second round. Only the 14th leg kick TKO we have seen in the UFC history. Sad to see Swanson declining. Maybe bantamweight isn't the division for him. And finally, playoff baseball is upon us. Currently, while this video is being recorded, the Phillies and Padres are going to clash in the NLCS, and in the AL, the Astros have secured their ALCS spot. They will be facing the winner of the Yankees and Guardians. We will be doing a show talking about the World Series in the future, so stay tuned for that. And that about wraps up this week's segment of Will's Weekly Sports News. Stay tuned for next episode.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my brand new segment, Ben's Best Plays of the Week. This segment, I will give you all my favorite plays of the week throughout the sports world. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Here we go. Here's a quarterback hurdles. Here we go. Josh Allen. Ooh! Nice hurdle by Josh Allen there. Great run, too. Next up, Harrison Butker
Field goal is up and it's good. 62 yards, and he sets his own player record. Bailey Zappi throws a pass deep. Oh, and it's caught by Devontae Parker. Great catch there. Parker, fantastic. Here's Burrow throws it to Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase down the sideline, and he's gone. Touchdown. In the home stadium, they won the national championship. Here's the next one. The dip and duck downfield Holden. Complete. Touchdown to Jalen Hyatt, 60 yards.
That's it for this week's episode of Ben's Best Plays of the Week. Stay tuned for next week's episode. Bye, y'all.